Closing is always easy when you're in Cardone U. We role play with Grant Cardone's team. They know just what to do. They're always there to support us. We couldn't ask for more. On our way in the right direction, we found what we're looking for. In FLC, in FLC. Closing is better with appointment setters. You'd better believe we're not a team but a family. We work together in harmony. We are devoted, on that you can quote me, in FLC.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the FLC Hangout where your freedom lifestyle begins. I'm so excited. Look who we have. We have the one, the only, Papa FLC, Crew Mano in the house. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for being here. And we have the one, the only, Chavaria also in the house. How lucky are we? Two in one. I am so excited. This episode is going to be so powerful because I know these guys have some gold, some knowledge, some nuggets that they're going to drop. So if you're excited, then stay tuned. Without further ado, I want to get straight into it. Misty, over to you.
Well, thank you, Josie. Hi, guys. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. We are so super honored and excited for this. You guys are so amazing and powerful, and like definitely people that other people should be looking at you as mentors. So we have there's so many things I want to ask you guys that I can't think of it all right now, but it's like there's so many things I want to just get out a little pick and start picking at your brain and find out what's in there. So my first question is 2023 has just got over with, and it was a difficult year for some people. However, not for everybody. So I would just kind of wanted to know, how did your 2023 end? And then what are you looking forward to here coming in now into the 2024 year?
I think 2023 was a really beautiful year, with definitely some life challenges that have occurred, very much so, and especially for anybody who's watching this who may have had a bit of a challenging year last year. I really want to say this is one thing that I've learned from my dad, my first ever mentor and all-time mentor, is that everything happens for a reason, but also what we believe in God, that God puts nothing on your path that you cannot handle. And so you can absolutely handle it. And usually the things that you have or get on your path are things that you are meant to overcome for that phase that you are in your journey. And so it's usually, as difficult as sometimes things may be, a blessing in disguise, because it's just meant to make you stronger and meant for you to pass that test and then come out the other side victorious and that bigger person that you are always meant to be. So for anybody who has an experience in the last year that was maybe not as easy, hopefully this perspective can help you, so that now coming into 2024, it can be an absolutely powerful year. One more thing that I want to say about 2023, I really love all of the impact that we have been able to make, and all of the new students that we got to work with, and the incredible events that we ran, and so many new people that we've met and got to connect with, also with a lot of the press releases or the TED Talk and things that we did. It's been an absolutely super beautiful year in the sense that we get to connect with so many more people and hopefully bring freedom to so many more people, because that's what we believe in, especially with the FLC Hangout, where the freedom lifestyle begins. That'll be my part.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you said it all. Yes. 2023 was very dynamic. But beside all the success we have with our FLC family and the company and our goals that we set for the future and also for this year. I would like to stand still and give a moment, a serious thought to what's happening in Gaza, because what's happening there is so bad, because every day people die, children die, and it's all about, to me, it's not about the people. It's not about it's all about power and oil and the countries and the leaders who want to be in control, stay in control, and it's all about a negative mindset to stay in power and dividing the people by oppressing them, a thought that we are different and it's me against you, we against them, and instead of uniting the people. And my wish, as what we live in FLC, is that we are together. We are one people with one mindset, and the mindset must be positive. And yeah, I hope the people in Gaza will get some peace and love, and that we all over the world can set aside our differences and let love be our guidance towards the future, 24 and further. That's what I want.
Yeah, can I just add one quick thing to it, because that was really, really beautiful. And I think also especially what you said about, as people, we're all the same. Like we have so much more in common than not in common. And whether a person believes in this or a person believes in that, or they come from this country or that country, speak this language or that language or whatever, we are so much, like, we're so similar, and we're, like that says, one. And it is really sad to see when, whether this is on a country level, in the leadership of a country, or in a company level leadership, sometimes what happens when people get a lot of power, it consumes their mind and it consumes their hearts, whereby they forget what they started, whatever they went on to in the first place. Usually people start their journeys with great hope, want to make a difference for their families and for everybody else, which is a good thing. But then sometimes when reaching for the top, being surrounded by a negative-minded surroundings, things happen that then pollute their minds, and therefore they forget that we actually have everything in common, and it's not about the power. So power sometimes consumes people. And I think what is really beautiful about what you guys do, Mitzi and Josie, with the FLC Hangout, and what we want to do collectively with the FLC mission, is for us never to forget who we are, and that love is the first principle. Love is, as Siggy Marley says, love is our religion, and that should always be the first. Love, respect, understanding for others, and fighting a listening ear, and these types of things. So I think it's very important that no matter in which level you're reaching some sort of power, to not forget that you don't let yourself or your ego be consumed by that, but stay the good person that you are, see the good in others, and allow that to unite us. And what I think was also very beautiful about this last year, obviously, as everybody, well, I think everybody knows, we moved to Dubai with the company as well. And it's so incredible to see all these different people, like there's more than 200 nationalities here, living together so harmoniously, whereas their countries are at war, which is crazy. So I really resonate with what Dad said. It's not the people. Every country has good people, but sometimes it is that those good people get polluted on their way to their success, their leadership, their power. And that is something sad. But I do think that if we believe and send out love and lead by example, that at some point, whoever got corrupted in that journey will find their peace also, and then decide to make a change and be good, either in this lifetime or the next, or whatever.
Yeah.
Promoting good.
Well, you mentioned some things like we must remember who we are, but the question is, who are we? And you mentioned ego. Also, what is ego? Because in ilmu kebatinan, where we come from Indonesia, you have ilmu kebatinan, and you have a lower ego and a higher ego. And your lower ego is it's what we do and with our brain. So our brain is a limited. You see, the brain is a limited chip where we can do simple things like holding this bottle of water and doing the simple things. But your higher ego, that's the ego who's connected to everything. That is something different. But in our world, who we are already brainwashed from childhood that we are little, that we are small. So we are disconnected to our higher ego. So everything what we do is by our lower ego. And our lower ego, those are the things that we are learned at school, the things that your parents taught you, but your parents were also already being close-minded, not by purpose. They don't even realize this, but because that's how the world works. So when you say, remind us who we are more than our lower ego. We are more than our brain thoughts. We are bigger than that. But we just got disconnected from that higher ego, from the all-knowing force and being. And the moment that you realize that, you can connect with your higher ego, and then you find likewise people, like-minded people. And then there's a connection without words, because words are influenced by your lower ego. It's a little complicated maybe because my English is not so good, but when
Yes.
You sound amazing. Don't worry, you're great.
Makes
We
perfect sense.
understand you perfectly. Yeah, we understand you perfectly.
Yeah. So when we are looking to stay connected, we must try to not to get influenced by our lower ego. You call it the little voice, but the little voice is also the lower ego.
Yeah.
Saying, oh no, that we cannot unite because there are too much differences between us. I would like to unite, but it's not possible because you're white and I'm black. You're a Jew and I'm a Muslim. You're a Christian, and all those things keep us divided. And what we must do and realize is that we all are one, so we can all be leaders. And how can we do that? In 24 and in the future and in our company as core members, to spread that message, be the example for each other, hold each other accountable, that we always try to see each other from oneness. I think that's very important.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's so true. Yeah. 100%.
Really well said. Oh my goodness, that was so good. And it's so true, right? I think we're so conditioned to see everyone else as competition and like, oh, like what do I have to do to one up you or one up you? But we're all one, like you said. And if we were just to live by that, we'd be so powerful. Like, could you imagine what we could get done as a world if we all just stopped being so silly? And it's like you look at children and they go play with whoever. They go to the playground, they pick a person that they want to play with, they play with them. It doesn't matter what their skin color is, it doesn't matter what their religion is, it doesn't matter what their education is. They just do it. And somewhere along the line, we've been conditioned to see other people as competition. And I think that's a really important point, what you brought up about Gaza as well. Definitely. Oh, we can't hear anything. No worries.
You're saying yes, I agree.
They're always agreeing. The dogs agree. They're also part of the core family. Something else you mentioned as well, Chibara, at the beginning about like all these experiences, and it's challenging, and it's not nice to go through. I heard someone, again on TikTok probably, talk about how when you're feeling like scared or anxious or nervous, remind yourself that you've been there before. This has happened before. You've gotten through it. So I think looking at all these challenges, whatever it might be for anyone listening or watching, it's it's like another challenge in your tool belt, for example. And the next time it happens or something similar happens, you've been here before, you've done it, you've gotten over it, you're alive, you can do it again. So I think that's really powerful as well. Oh my God, we're like what, 10 minutes in and we've already dove in deep. Something I asked Misty on the last hangout, and I also want to ask you guys, is it's kind of two parts. What's one thing in 2023? How many parts? Two. What's one thing in 2023 that you feel like you did really well and you want to carry on into 2024? And what's one thing that you maybe like, oh, this area I can improve on in 2024?
Yes, Christian.
Oh. Wow, want to improve. I want to improve everything because life is all about learning and realizing that you are not there yet. And the moment you think you know it all is the moment that you fall.
Yeah.
So I would like to improve my patience. Sometimes I want to go from 0 to 10 too fast. And I've learned that in life, small steps can bring me further. It can take me it can take a longer time, but we will get there. And I have to remind myself that motivation is good, but discipline is better. That's something that through my life always, the constant line of progress is much more important than the motivation today. Yeah, I'm motivated. Yesterday, tomorrow maybe too, and next week. But then motivation is not something that goes like this. Motivation goes like this, and then in free fall. So that's something I have to remember because I'm very competitive. I'm very competitive, but mostly with myself. So what I did yesterday, I want to do better today, and then I already set goals for tomorrow. But sometimes I have to patience myself. And pace myself and realize that no, discipline take me to the place I would like to be, and the results where we're at today is the proof that discipline is more important than motivation.
Definitely.
I was thinking like I know my answer, and I was like, oh wow, I'm inspired by this answer. And what is the thing you want to carry on?
I want to carry on being grateful. I want to carry on being grateful to I'm a Muslim, so I'm grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord who gave me everything. And I want to be grateful because I know that everything you have today can be different tomorrow. And we take things for granted all the time. And that's not a bad thing, but that's who we are as humans. We think, oh, everything is there forever, but it's not how it is. Every day it can change. So be grateful every day, every moment, because every moment can be your last one. So when you're grateful, then you're grateful for the small things, but that will influence your behavior. Because when you're grateful, your behavior will be like, I appreciate everyone around me. And that, so your action, it will influence your actions towards yourself, but also to others. And that is so important. That's it.
Love it. That was super beautiful. And I want to make one comment on what Dad said before. Like really inspiring how you want to improve everything. And I think that's a really commendable thing. But I also do want to say is that you are already so close to perfect. Yeah, no, I'm really so grateful. Best dad in the world, 100%.
Oh no, I made my mistake.
But still, best dad in the world. I think it's really important to say this. Yeah. Really, I hope that one day when I become a parent, I can be only if I can only become a fraction of how good as a parent you are and mom and everything, then I'll be very, very proud of myself. So that's number one. So the first thing that came to mind for me in terms of improvement was definitely the area of health. a big, big, big thing, because then from health, everything else flows from it, like the amount of impact that you can make, and just everything flows from there. But then I was inspired by that answer, and actually, yeah, improving everything. And I think that's so important, because this year there's been so much expansion happen, and I think that's the part that I also want to carry on to the next year, is what we have been able to do as a core family. I think it's really special, really, really like deepening our connections, and how that then flows through to the community, the students, and everything. I think that's absolutely, like, unbelievably grateful for that. I think that's really, really good. But then how can we take that to another level, and really, really make it, let's say, I don't know if this is a weird thing to say, but being able to provide a 100% success rate in every area of life for all of our students as such. And I think that's possible, because by instilling that energy and allowing that energy then to grow, it will lead to anything else that is going to be good. So it's a little bit all over the place, my answer, but it is definitely like what Dad says, improving and seeing how can we really, really do everything and more to our students, so that their lives change completely quicker than ever before, so that they can do even more good. And then it's like ripple effect of, in fact, making this world a better place. But then obviously health is required in that. So health's going to be part of your biggest focus, but then everything else as well.
Yeah, the most important thing is to improve your own life, because that's the first ripple. If you want to make a ripple effect, start with yourself.
Yeah.
And our business.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah,
You want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself, then make a change.
Oh, MJ. This reminded me of the training we did recently in Cardone, with like the super life. You can't just expect to improve one area of your life and your life gets better, right? It needs to be everywhere. Like if it's too much of this, then you lose this, like work, family, health. Definitely health is a big one there for Chavaria and anyone watching. We'll hold each other accountable. And we're starting like something very exciting as a team, right? In I don't know if you guys want to touch on that a little bit, what we've started.
Can I just quickly say, shout out to my brother with the Savage Academy, training our entire team, training our students.
Training
Super
me.
excited. Yeah, so excited with that. And up leveling it is. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important, because if you're strong physically, you're strong mentally, and it goes hand in hand, right? So if anyone watching or listening has the goal to improve their physical, but also their mental, then make sure you can reach out to us, reach out to Jabaria, ask about this community that we've started, we're taking part on, and we'll be happy to also get you started on your road to freedom, being fit, free, and effing rich. Who doesn't want that? So yeah, had to get that in there. But it's exactly what you guys said. It needs to be in all areas of life. So I think when making goals or writing down your goals in the morning, or what you think about every day, you need to have a goal for each area, whether it's family, financial, spiritual, health. Everything plays a part in your life. So I think that was a perfect answer. I want to improve everything. Also, I agree with taking into the new year being grateful, because not everything is permanent, like you said, and things can change very quickly. So yeah, I think just be grateful, strive for always being the best you can every day, but also be okay with the ups and downs as well. You're not always going to feel 100%, but like you said, it's the discipline you need to carry on. And I'm just repeating everything you said because it was great.
I'm just repeating everything you said.
I kind of want to touch on this because coming from the background that I have in caregiving, and I've said this before, when you're taking care of somebody, you have to take care of the entire being, not just the physical part of it or just one part of that person. So that not just that doesn't just go for when you're caring for somebody else. It's really especially important for you, because if you're not taking care of you and the best of that you can be, you can't be there for somebody else, and you can't be there for, you know, for anything really. And with my surgery that I had, knowing that I have to watch what I'm eating, making sure I'm getting enough vitamins and minerals, and making sure I'm eating the right things and I'm moving and stuff like that. So taking care of more of the health area, that when I don't do those things or I miss out on my vitamins or something, my mental capacity and my physical capacity just goes down really quickly. So it's like I have to remember to do that. So I think it's really important that we're touching on health and mental and everything else, because of the fact that we want everybody to be the healthiest in every aspect of your life, um, every day, the best that you can be. So if you have not started taking care of yourself, start evaluating what you're lacking and where you need to pick up the slack in those areas. Mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, all of that matters. And you may not see it right now, but all of it matters, and it does affect every other area in your life. So be sure that when you're taking care of somebody else, but especially yourself, it's the entire being.
The entire package.
Yes.
Yeah. Hoo-ha-hoo. Absolutely. I it's so we have, oh, by the way, if you're still watching or listening and you haven't followed us on Instagram already, why not? What are you doing? Follow us. They are on the screens now or in the descriptions, all of ours. So make sure you do that so you can stay up to date with everything that's happening. But we have the two people who kind of started this whole thing right here together, like started FLC and everything that has come from, I can't do this because I don't have Apple. Everything that has come from it, like this,
No, I'm
this
so jealous.
I know.
I wanted to do it too.
Oh look, it's a party. But everything that has come from FLC, and this is where your freedom lifestyle begins. And I know we help people with businesses, right? Or without businesses, or people who want to be entrepreneurs or build that freedom for themselves. But it's so much more than that as well. Like, yes, we focus on getting the money and being financially free and having that time freedom as well. Do what you want, be your own boss. But it's so much more than that. Like, and like we've been saying, it's a family here. We have our core family, us and the rest of the team, and then everyone else in the community is family. So we want everyone to be the best they can in all aspects of their life. But because you guys, you two are the ones that kind of started this all, what is your aim for all of this and for the people coming into the community? Or what can people that maybe they're listening, they're not part of the community, what can they, why would they even join, basically?
Okay. Like really freedom. Just everybody being able to have freedom. I guess the credit of all of this goes to that because growing up, our parents have always set the example of really being a basically free being in a way. So always believing yourself, about loving yourself. There's nothing that you cannot do. Love and respect other people, equality, all of these different things, but not only in the way how we have been educated as kids, like me and my siblings, but also in leading by example and helping other people, whether that was helping other people financially, or helping other people with advice, support, anything like that. And basically, as kids growing up, and then also seeing like that support that was given, there's so many people that struggle, and obviously you can just look around you and there's so many people that struggle, and I don't believe that that's actually necessary. People are not supposed to struggle. And then like just mentioned about the focus of the company really is like providing people with ways to become financially free, but then obviously so much more. There's no good reason why people should struggle financially, and this, again, going back to the educational system, we're not being taught. Like, we can have an entire episode about why are we not being taught this, because there's some sort of weird scheme behind it, in my opinion. But we should, everybody deserves that education. And coming back to then the core of how FLC got around is that one of the things that I feel very blessed with, and I think it's kind of a thing that we all have within our family, is that we just learn really quick. It's like you see something, you're like, oh, cool, let's learn that. And we love learning and implementing straight away. And so when I went into business, it was actually really like, what is this? Can it be this easy? It was like unimaginably, because I was used to think like, oh, business is, you know, difficult or whatever, like all of these types of things. And then coming to see that actually is really, really simple. And then thinking like, okay, so we have this mission of, you know, always helping people, no matter on which scale. And then seeing like business is actually simpler than I thought and can be. And then having trained people from all different walks of lives and seeing that how quick they can get results, then it was really about, okay, how can we then bring this to people as good as possible, but not just as the financial freedom aspect, but as a whole full life aspect. And it was actually, again, not until last year where we started also including more of the health part into it in a collaboration with my brother. And so really like having people have the freedom in all areas of life, so whether it's physically, whether it's mentally, whether it's spiritually and financially, because we really believe that everyone deserves to be free. Not just that, yeah, I don't have change, so I'm free. No, be free to live a life that you deserve. We're not just here to get by. And we're absolutely not here to be suffering every single day. So how can we make that change? And that change starts by yourself. And if you can give people enough of that empowerment, then those changes can come, and they can come really quicker for anyone who is listening, quicker than you possibly think. Because thinking that it cannot happen overnight or thinking that it cannot happen quick is also, again, pollution that has come from years of negative influences. Change can happen overnight. It can go really quick. Obviously, there are certain things that sometimes with the discipline, then it grows and becomes even more life-changing. But things can't happen in an instant. And success, therefore, and freedom, therefore, is a choice. So the hope really is that we can empower as many people as possible, but even not just as many people as possible, every human being, every person that we touch is a life worth changing. And then one person at a time, making sure that they can embody freedom and then be that ripple effect to then embody other, or not embody others, to then ripple effect it to another person. So then you touch one person, that person touches the next person and the next person, and then hopefully making a change to the entire world and other worlds. And so, no limits to that. So I guess that would be my 2 cents of it.
I agree.
Yeah.
While you were speaking, my thoughts went back to what I did before FLC. I was a probation officer. I studied social work and psychopathology. Yeah, the mind. As a probation officer, I always tried with my clients to change their behavior, and changing their behavior is very, very difficult if you don't connect with people and be honest with them. And the beautiful thing is that I always was successful to do that, because I went with them to the time when they were kids, when they were young, without all the bad things they've done. Some people murdered people, some people raped, some people, everything bad. And the society always point fingers, and they believed that they could not get out of that situation. And then we started and we sit, and when there was silence, there was silence. Sometimes people don't want to speak with me. And I said, okay, no problem, but I'm here. And it was 1 hour, and they said nothing to say. And the next week, I would be there. Sometimes they wouldn't even come. They wouldn't even bother. And it was easy for me to make a report back to the officer of justice and say, okay, they have to go to prison again because they don't come to me. But I always tried to give them some time. And sometimes they come and say, why are you always here? And even if I don't want to speak, you're always here. Because I said, because you are worth it. And the people are worth it. And sometimes they're not ready. And then you get a connection with the people and they realize that they're wat zijn ze zijn de moeite waard. They're worth it.
Yeah.
They are worth the attention. They are worth the time. And in that experience over so many years with so many people, I find that everybody is worth it, even the baddest person. And what is important for us, and your question to answer it, is that everybody who's watching this, you are worth it. Everybody is worth it. No matter your background, don't think, oh, I'm not worth it. Some people were on the edge of suicide, and I talked with them, and I said, oh no, you are worth it. And they haven't heard it for so long that they were flabbergasted that someone like me sit there, 100% genuine feelings, sharing that they are worth it. And then comes the moment that they want to invest in themselves because they see that I have the time to invest in them. And if we do that in FLC, we can accomplish so much because everybody's worth it. I'm worth it, you're worth it, everybody who's watching later on the recording, everybody is worth it. And let's try to build on that experience. And that's how we always talk on the background, always discuss things. How can we make decisions for the companies, always with the small people, because small people get big too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, you go.
I was just going to say, I completely resonate with that. And I wanted to say to you, Crumano, thank you so much for who you are and for the lessons and everything you've taught Shabaria. I've told Shabaria several times, she has saved my life more times than she will ever know. And she's the first person, sorry, I'm going to get emotional. She's the first person in my life that ever told me I was worth it and I deserve something. So, and I know that, as amazing as she is, she has a solid foundation and somebody, people in her life who have given her that and allowed her to be who she is and taught her that. And I wanted to thank you for that. I also wanted to ask you, because you have given such a solid foundation to your own kids, how did you come into that? How did you get your solid foundation? Was it something you were taught or is it something you learned? How did you get so wise?
Wow, good question. Well, I to be honest, my parents, my family, both from my father and mother's sides, are very balanced. So there's balance in the physical, mental, and spiritual being of both of my parents' family, and I was brought up always being humble, but always try to aim for the best you can be, and that's difficult because every time you try to be the best of yourself, your ego gets fat. So, oh, look at my results. And then directly my parents or family or grandparents say, no, stay humble, stay humble. So always humble, but always be proud. Humble, proud, humble, proud. And that was a daily experience in my life and my sister. So I have a very loving family too, because she's so grateful for me, but I'm grateful for both of my parents and also my elder sister, Brigitte. She's amazing. She's my lighthouse. And I think the most important thing in my life that what brought me here and give me the stability is the my family, and my faith. my faith, yeah, my faith also.
Really well said.
And I also want
Right.
to add to that as well, which is I think also part of the humbleness, but that also really, really works super hard and always studies, like studies everything. I don't think we've talked about it a lot within the podcast, but also my dad has founded Tenaga Kambar, which is basically it's like a martial art, but it's also a way of life and philosophy and spirituality in there as well. And one thing that was very, very powerful in that, which perhaps could be a conversation as well for another topic to have that and talk about that. I think that would be a good one. Also, like that was being trained in a lot of. Let's keep that actually as a something to look forward to, like in a spiritual way, a very, very powerful spiritual way in that. But the one thing that I want to refer to is the within Tenaga Kambar, it's also very important. Like, let's say, talking about the martial arts Tenaga Kambar, a lot of the time people stay very rigid in their thinking or in their fighting. So saying, okay, let's say if I'm a boxer, I just use my arms, or if I'm a different type of martial artist, I maybe stick to certain things. But the philosophy of Tenaga Kambar is actually to know absolutely your foundation, but also to observe and learn from everything that you encounter and take on board whatever can make you even better. And having that adaptive, ever growing philosophy in there has really been also a huge foundation, not only to us as kids, but for the entire family. My dad has like literally created that, and from obviously all the lines above, but then also it's like a lot of spiritual things in there, and then has also trained lots of people that are all around the world also now putting it forward. So that's like a lot of humility there from that, but that's something that also actually stands at the core of FLC2. And these are maybe not as much talked about yet, or maybe in separate conversations, but that's really a very big basis too within FLC. And I think that is important to mention.
Ja,
with
en ik wil
regards
iets
to
in
that.
het Nederlands zeggen, want dan is het wat
Ja.
makkelijker moet je het dan vertalen.
Yes, but I was going to say something in Dutch, and then I'll translate it.
Ja, wat het belangrijkste is dat ik natuurlijk vanaf de basis heel erg vanuit liefde en een goede opbrenging ben geworden wie ik ben geworden. Maar met alle fouten, ik heb daarin ook ontzettend veel fouten gemaakt. In mijn leven heb ik ontzettend veel fouten gemaakt en gaandeweg geleerd. Maar van wie ik ontzettend veel heb geleerd is van mijn kinderen en van mijn loved ones. En daar moet je voor openstaan om te groeien. Dus degene die ik nu ben, uiteindelijk in 2024, heeft die groei doorgemaakt door constant, als je valt, te leren, te willen opstaan, te willen luisteren en te willen groeien en beter willen doen. En dat kan door jezelf steeds kleiner te maken en het besef dat je van iedereen kan leren. Ook als ze jonger zijn, ook als ze minder ervaring hebben. Want op een speciaal onderwerp en topic kunnen ze ontzettend veel verder zijn dan dat jij op dat moment bent. En als je dat kan, dan kan je een basis leggen waardoor je ook bijvoorbeeld als voorbeeld kan dienen en live by example.
Okay, so so basically, like I said, that obviously there was the incredible foundation of love growing up and from the family and all of that, like so really beautiful foundation of love. But then also in his life, he said he made a lot of mistakes as well, and learned from a lot of those mistakes, and especially also has learned a lot from his children, as he said. Thank you so much for that. And basically what he then mentioned was the importance of being willing to learn from all of that, and also then being willing to make yourself small and be open to the feedback that you get from any person. Doesn't matter if a person is younger than you, doesn't matter if a person is perhaps less experienced, because it could be that in one specific area they have a vast amount of knowledge and are much further than perhaps you are at that point. So always to stay open and have the humility to be able to say, okay, I make myself small and I listen and I absorb and then therefore evolve to the next level. And then in doing so can be that can serve as an example so that other people may adopt that as well. What was it?
Ooh. I love that.
Make sure that I remembered all the beautiful things that said.
Yeah.
Yes.
Apologize.
No, that's really true. And it was by the way, I just want to echo what Missy said earlier too, that Chabaria makes so much sense because of you, Cruz. So big props to you. And big props to Chabaria as well for taking it all on board and being the person. But yeah, Chabaria makes a lot of sense because of you. So need to put that out there. Another hoo-ha-hoo for Crew Mano. But what you just said there is really true. And I think as well, you can have a really good foundation and have the best people around you, and that's amazing, and that's something I wish that everyone could have. But also takes you as well. It takes you to actually be open to being that person, and you could take it all and you could take it for granted. Oh yeah, I have a good family. Oh, they would do this for me. But it also takes you to be that person and take it all on board. So props to both of you for that as well, and everyone, if that is also you. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Stop it. But something else that I remembered when you guys were answering the question before is something you tell us, Jabari, all the time is it doesn't matter how, like we're in sales, right? Especially Misty and I in the sales team in FLC. It doesn't matter how the call goes, just leave the person empowered. It doesn't matter if they're swearing at you, if they don't believe anything you've said, if they're this, their wall is up, they're telling you no, 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 or maybe they're really lovely. Whatever. It doesn't matter, just as long as you leave the other person empowered. I think it comes back to what you were saying about people are worth it, and it's up to us and anyone who has that awareness that people are worth it and that we all deserve the best. It's up to us to help the other person see that. It's up to us to help them realize, look, we can help you, or whoever you are and whatever you do, you can help them, and that they are worth the help. I think sometimes people, it's not that they don't want the help and they don't want to do it with you, they don't like you. It's actually maybe they just don't believe that they're worth like someone investing their time into them, right? So it's up to us, it's up to you watching to help other people realize that they are worth it and they can do better. Whoever you are, you can always do better, right? And yeah, so I think that was really powerful. Thank you.
One more thing with regards to that. It was actually one of our GIC students that said that, Natalie. After these long calls that we always used to have, it was really beautiful. She said that after obviously learning a lot of different things, she realized that she had to give herself permission to actually now go and accept all of that abundance and all of that love and everything, because for the longest time she was stopping herself in that. And that's exactly what you just said. Like when you want to make someone understand that they're worth it, and then they have to give themselves also permission. It's like, yes, I am worth it. And yes, let's accept that help and let me go and take the next steps forward. So if you're listening to this, give yourself permission for living the most beautiful life that you can and want and will be able to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
If
I
not
think
you, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if not you, then who? Who?
Yeah.
If not now, then when? Not you, then who?
I was just going to say you need to acknowledge, you definitely need to give yourself permission, but you need to acknowledge the fact that, do you like where you're at? Do you want to change? What is the change you want? And how are you going to do that? And then give yourself that permission. Okay, I don't like where I'm at. Maybe I don't have the support system. And everybody in the world is like on me and putting me down and whatever else. But it's your perspective. And who you are as a human being and your character is going to decide who you're going to be, who you are and who you're going to be, right? So you need to be aware of how everything's making you feel and the change you want, and go for that and give yourself permission for that. So guys, we are coming up to the end of the episode. It's been so powerful, but I do want to ask you guys, does anybody have any closing remarks before we end the episode today? So I'll just throw it out there. Any of you guys have any closing remarks? Go for it.
I have two closing remarks. I just say your little doggy is so adorable and it's so sweet. I really feel like your dogs and our dogs and everybody's dogs here are so self-developed by being part of the Hangout all the time. So if you're watching this, make sure to follow the Hangout. Make sure to like, subscribe, or any other button you can click, whichever platform you're listening to this. Miss Josie are absolutely phenomenal, and I'm so grateful to you guys putting all of this work and effort out there to help people with this Hangout where their freedom lifestyle begins. So that was the first remark. Second remark is a huge thank you to Dad for everything and for really being healthy at all degrees. That is, like I said before, very, very humble. So it's a lot of the time also in the background of the things. But if it wasn't for that, this company would not be, and company wouldn't be at the level where it is, and all of us wouldn't be in this way. So I just want to say a huge thank you to that. And also for...
And I want to thank you back off.
No, thank you. No.
We're going to play tennis with thank you.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. Any last words for you, crew?
Yeah, stay humble and love yourself.
Yeah, powerful. Nice.
Go
I
into the
agree.
future.
Yeah, I want to say what they said. But also I feel like we touched on a few different subjects today, but it all ties in. That you deserve the best. You owe it to yourself to have the best. Never stop learning. Like you said, it doesn't matter who, where, what, why. Just keep getting a little bit better each day. And something else, Jabari, you say a lot that I know you heard from Grant Cardone is once you commit 100%, results will show instantly. So commit and let the universe figure the rest out.
Absolutely. I think that this has been a very powerful episode. I thank you, Crumano, for being on here. You know, we're so honored to be able to have you not only here on the episode, but in Shabaria's life, in our lives. We do thank you from the bottom of our hearts because, like she says, if it wasn't for you, then none of us would be here. And we would love to have you on again. With that being said, guys, I'm going to say goodbye for this week. However, if you like this episode, you got anything from it, be sure to like, subscribe, share, help us reach as many people as possible so we can help everybody get their freedom lifestyle, because this is where it begins. Keep learning. Be sure to remember that you are worth it. You deserve it. Yes, we want to make generational wealth and change for our families, but it's got to start with you and change here, and then everything else will fall into place. So acknowledge where you're at, whether or not you like where you're at. Acknowledge the change that you want to make. Give yourself permission and go for it. Surround yourself right here with people who are on the like-minded path. With that being said, guys, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
For having me.
Wahoo!